It's Toronto's podcast on the Canada's Podcast Network.
So, Sean, welcome to Canada's podcast. Before we go much further, why don't you tell the audience, tell me too, although we have been speaking for the last 20 minutes, so I got a little picture. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what your background is, how you got to be an entrepreneur, and all of the things that go along with that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes along with that, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the background. Born and raised in Reno, Nevada. Zoomaway Travel, Inc. is a Canadian public company. We're traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange. And I've been in hospitality, casino, hotel, those kind of industries since I was 18 years old. And grew up in the casinos and the sales and marketing departments. Typically would deal with the leisure side of that business, golf groups, ski groups, anything that had to do with activities. And in 1999, I decided that, after seeing some of the shortcomings that hotels in general had, and some lack of technology, that I'd start my own company and build some technology and become an outsourced service provider for, big hotels and casinos here in the Reno Lake Tahoe area. And we built interfaces and things that would combine rooms and activities all in real time. Lots of technology that revolved around rooms, golf, ski. At the time in 99, 2000, we had several products that were first or second, in the nation, in the world, in functionality, online tee time, real-time tee time services, online lift ticketing, all kinds of great stuff. And we had a nice business, but we're very entrepreneurial for a very long time, still am, and would create all kinds of new things that would, make people's lives easier and make it easier for customers to get here and do fun stuff. And just a very deep hospitality background, but have been running my own businesses since I was, 24, 25 years old. And let's just say that I'm about 30 years into it at this point without giving away my age. But It's been a wild ride. It's been a bumpy ride. The life of an entrepreneur is definitely different, and it changes pretty drastically when you're an entrepreneur in a public company.
Mm-hmm. Well, are we wired differently, or is this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Lots of friends are not entrepreneurs. What makes us different?
Well, it may be cliche, but what makes us different, in my opinion, is that we can walk out to the edge of the diving board and step off without checking to see if there's water first. Mm-hmm. So, we have something in us that's, missing the plan B gene, I guess. And we're not risk averse. We're able to, take an idea and run with it. Have that ultimate faith that what you're building is something that people really want and need. Mm-hmm. Being an entrepreneur and an inventor are, in my mind, two different things, but, we've invented products, but we believe everything that we do that other people might not, has that ability to go. So there's a lot of faith in yourself in some areas, but it's that ability to walk off the diving board and just not know if there's water to land in, really.
Okay, so that's the risk side of it. What's the best thing you can think about being an entrepreneur for the last few decades?
Oh, having any of the products or ideas that you put together, have them actually monetize, have people use them, mm-hmm. See them used on a great scale, used by thousands of people, to have hundreds of thousands of transactions roll through the things that you've built. That is the rewarding piece of this that gives you that adrenaline rush to keep creating and keep building things. But yeah, it's definitely that. We've had hundreds of thousands of hotel room nights booked, hundreds of thousands of rounds of golf, hundreds of thousands of ski tickets sold. And, we're doing something a little bit different now, but that's the piece that keeps you coming back.
So you're in sort of the hospitality, gaming, sort of events, sports business. What do you see as the future of that industry? Although today, or just now with COVID-19, that hopefully this is a short-term thing. But what do you mean? But I know personally, it's changed pretty radically in the last decade, anyway.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot that hasn't changed in the last decade.
Okay.
If you look at the industry leaders in hospitality, the Expedias, the Travelocities, the TripAdvisors, there's been subtle changes, but if you go back to the early 2000s, their platforms haven't changed that much. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same, pick a city, pick your dates, see this long list of hotels with a little thumbnail image of a hotel room and book it. And that's by design on their part. They want you in and out and popping that credit card out quickly. But with the emergence of things like Uber and Airbnb and, a lot of other hospitality-based services, I mean, there is a ton of money that startups raise these days in hospitality. Tons of products that are raising, $8, $10, $12 million right out of the get-go on a concept that, some of them seem a little foreign to me, but some of them have been very successful, and some are gone fairly quickly. But there's all kinds of new products out there that are geared towards, helping hospitality companies like hotels and different folks manage the business that they've got. But the big guys on the block, they haven't changed much in going on 30 years now. It's kind of the same.
So without getting too promotional about it, just give us a little sense of today, what the company is today and what you're trying to do.
Well, the main thing we're trying to do right now is we've got we call it our flagship product. It's called Zoomed Out. We're trying to show people the place they're going to go, which to me is crazy that we've gone all this time without letting people see. It's not a website with a list of hotel rooms. What we're creating with Zoomed Out, our product, is a 3D representation of the entire city with all of the points of interest in it, so that people can interact with all the places they want to go. Imagine a tool where you could say, show me all the hotels, and every building in a marketplace drops flat except for the hotels. Show me the golf courses, show me the parks, show me the bars, the restaurants. We believe that people are using their devices in such different ways now. And younger generations, they're not spending a lot of time, on websites. They're on their phone. I mean, my kid does his homework on his phone and is faster at it than I am on a keyboard. It's a changing world, and the way people see things is different. So, our concept is you can't, I've always been asked the question, how do you compete with Expedia? And I've answered this a bunch of times in the last 6 months, but for 20 years I got that question, and I never was competing with Expedia, but the problem, the question kept coming up, and the only way to do that is to change what people see, to present them with something different than what they do, and show them more of the world, and give people credit for being, a little more advanced than just wanting to get in and out of a website in 5 minutes. People want to see what there is to do. They want to earn rewards. They want to interact. They want to interact with each other, which is really probably the biggest thing, the social side of this, to be able to communicate in large groups, to share experiences with each other. That's really what's different now. People are doing things, they're doing things socially that, that just haven't been around for a long time. And that doesn't include Facebook and different things. It's in everything. People want to share, and they want to communicate.
So, you've been an entrepreneur for time. This is a kind of challenge section. What's the greatest challenge you faced in your business, your entrepreneurial career to date?
Well, there's probably a couple different answers to that. I mean, the current climate with the coronavirus, I've seen instances like this over the years that have been very challenging. 9/11 was a very, very challenging time for my business. So much uncertainty and people just flat out not traveling. It was challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Weather, in this market here in Lake Tahoe in 2011, it stopped snowing for a couple of years, and ski was about 40% of our business. So that was a challenge. I would say the last 15 years and everything we do has been fighting uphill all the time to make sure that that things work. But today, now, being a public company has its own challenges, and has a lot of risk reward and a lot of stress that comes with being a public company. So there's probably a lot of different answers to that question, but they all make you stronger.
Okay. So, to other entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, again, you've got that nice experience. Is there something new that they may have to deal with that maybe wasn't there when we started off building businesses, basically?
Well, I mean, there's a lot more regulation. There's a lot more security issues. But other than that, at the heart of it, it's kind of the same process that we had, starting. It's that leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ability to, kind of go for what you think, will work. Things get, technically more challenging. There's more competition. There's more people, trying to do similar things to you. But I think just at the heart of it, it's very similar to how it was before. It's
Mm-hmm.
just you have to be a little more technically savvy than we had to be back in 2000, because it was all kind of being born at that time.
Yeah. So, when people get faced, which we do as entrepreneurs, with those, you hit a wall that you didn't expect, you hit an obstacle. Is there a process that you recommend that have taken you around those obstacles that might be useful for others?
Well, I mean, obviously you have a lot of times where you have, internal conversations, and everything seems like panic at difficult times. And it's easy to panic and easy to, give up. And I guess, one of the things that most entrepreneurs, I know in my case, I have a stubbornness to not give up, to continue to fight on. But at the time, everything, when there's an issue like the one we have going on here right now, people have a tendency to give up, to think it's the end of the world. And I can tell you, having come out of several situations like this and several, serious business situations, there's always an answer. There's always a funding source. There's always somebody that believes in your story. You simply have to talk to people. And I got a great piece of advice from my friends in Vancouver when we were getting ready to take this thing public. I don't know who it was that said it, if it was Bill Gates or somebody, but somebody gave me a quote that sticks with me always. You can't get help if you don't ask for it. So to try and shoulder everything on your own, to just stress yourself to death, which I've done plenty of myself. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't help.
So if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
It would be to not be short-sighted, not just look at your immediate surroundings, look at the rest of the world. We made a very big mistake in 99, 2000 by just focusing on this one place, this one geography,
Mm-hmm.
when in reality, every hotel or every golf course in the world at the time could have used what we had. But don't be comfortable, I guess, is the bottom line there. You settle in and you have a nice business going, and you have, a nice car, and your family's making nice money, and you settle into being comfortable, but it's a mistake. You should always be, yearning for something bigger, something more. You should be trying to make, everyone around you make their lives better, you shouldn't settle for, because good times always change. And we know that, today, especially something always comes up and you got to be prepared. And I would tell myself to have a rainy day fund. Most definitely back then, September 11th came and we didn't have a rainy day fund. So, always try if you can. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but always have a rainy day fund in case something comes up.
So just some rapid fire questions. Just, blurt out the response. We'll move quickly through them. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing instead?
I would be doing similar work, closing deals for, probably a casino or a golf course group. I really like the art of, finishing a deal. So something along those lines.
Are you a morning or a night person?
Definitely night, not morning at all.
You got to be casinos. You got to be a night person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
Grit.
Okay. Anything keeping you up at night apart from COVID-19?
Oh yeah. I mean, we with the public company, you definitely have to always. I have multiple jobs. So I wear multiple hats. We run a very lean operation, but the CEO job in a public company is its own stress, its own animal, its own beast. And then you've got in my case, I've got the other job of, trying to innovate and build and design stuff. But the public company has its own things that'll keep you up at night. And it all revolves around the market and share price going up or down and just, some of the silliness that goes on there.
What's your favorite place in the world?
Carmel, California.
That's a great
right outside
place.
Monterey.
That's a great place. I love it. What are the non-negotiables that have to happen in your morning or evening routine?
Oh, well, family isn't, I've got to spend time with the family. I love just, we sit around together, do things together. That it's very dangerous for entrepreneurs, and this as well, to let the business become your life. And for the early 2000s, I've got 3 kids, and the 2 older ones, there's big pieces of it that I don't remember, and that's a crying shame. Yeah,
I have that similar thing. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And you haven't listened to the podcast, but we ask everybody this, okay? But good, because I'll get an unrehearsed answer.
Okay.
So there's a small tropical island in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
1 phone booth, no internet. We drop you off with no technology at all. You ain't got anything.
Right.
At any time, you can use a phone booth on the island to call the boat, and we'll come and pick you up. How long do you last before making the call? And what would you do until then?
Oh, I would last 48 hours.
Right.
And during that time, I would take the longest nap in recorded history. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, that's about it. That was a great show. I really enjoyed that. It was really
good.
cool.
I did too. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for the interview. Now, what I always want our listeners, viewers, to know how to get a hold of you. So maybe you can let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, the best thing to do is go to www.zoomaway.com, and the website has all of our contact info. It has our entire presentation for our new product. So basically the website is a deck. It's got information on our legacy business, because we are a cash flowing business with our legacy products, but our new product is on there front and center. So folks can see it, they can see demo videos. It really is the resource to be able to do anything you want to do. And our stock tickers are on there as well. We're listed on the TSX Venture, but we're also listed on the OTCQB, which is a recent development and very exciting for us. And that's the best way to find us.
Great. Well, thanks, Sean. And, thanks, everyone. Till next time, it's Phil Bliss. And thanks for listening to Canada's podcast.